Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Hub. In today's video, we're going to explore something really interesting and exciting. So, if you want to find out what you'll learn by staying with us till the end, make sure to watch the whole video. Stay with us and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. The 1981 USA 1-dime coin, a relatively small and unassuming piece of currency, holds a significant place in the long history of American coinage. For many, this coin may seem like just another dime, but for collectors and numismatists, the 1981 dime offers a fascinating journey through its design, minting process, historical context, and exceptional collector value. By the end of this video, you will not only appreciate the legacy of this particular coin but also discover its impressive value, which today stands at a remarkable $118,000. Let's begin with a quick overview of the history of the dime, which has roots going back to the late 18th century. The dime, which represents 10 cents, has been an essential part of American currency since it was first minted in 1796. The original design, known as the draped bust dime, was followed by various redesigns throughout the years. The most notable and enduring change came in 1946, when the U.S. Mint introduced the Roosevelt dime in honor of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, following his death in 1945. The Roosevelt dime, which continues to be minted today, is the focus of our discussion as we look into the 1981 version of this iconic coin. The 1981 1-dime coin is part of the long-running series that has featured Franklin D. Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse, designed by artist John R. Sinnock. Roosevelt's image has become synonymous with the dime, serving as a testament to his legacy as the 32nd President of the United States, particularly for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The 1981 dime continues the tradition of Roosevelt's likeness, which has remained largely unchanged since it was first introduced in 1946. On the obverse of the 1981 dime, we see Roosevelt's left-facing profile, with the inscription "Liberty" above his head. To the left, we see the phrase, "In God We Trust," a long-standing motto that has appeared on U.S. coins since the mid-19th century. The mint year, 1981, is found to the right of Roosevelt's image, along with the artist's initials, J.S., indicating the work of John R. Sinnock. The design on the obverse of the dime is relatively simple, yet it carries a deep sense of respect and historical significance, representing Roosevelt's legacy and the ongoing strength of American democracy. Turning to the reverse of the 1981 dime, we see a familiar design that has been in place since the Roosevelt dime was first issued in 1946. The reverse features a torch flanked by 2 olive branches and an oak branch. The torch represents liberty, the olive branch symbolizes peace, and the oak branch signifies strength. Together, these elements create a balanced and meaningful design that conveys the ideals of freedom, unity, and resilience, all of which are key themes that resonated with Roosevelt and the American public during his presidency. The reverse design is complemented by several inscriptions: United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 dime. These words serve as constant reminders of the unity of the nation and its commitment to liberty, peace, and strength. The overall design of the 1981 dime, like its predecessors, is a symbolic and artistic representation of the values that have helped define the United States. Now, let's dive into the technical details of the 1981 dime. In terms of size and composition, the 1981 dime is identical to other dimes in the Roosevelt series. It has a weight of 2.27 grams and a diameter of 17.91 millimeters, making it one of the smaller coins in circulation. Its composition consists of a copper-nickel-clad alloy, with 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, which gives the coin its characteristic silvery appearance. While the metal content of the dime has changed over the years, its size and weight have remained consistent since the mid-20th century. The 1981 dime was minted at 3 locations: the Philadelphia Mint, denoted by the P mint mark, the Denver Mint, denoted by the D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint, denoted by the S mint mark. Most of the dimes produced were for general circulation, while a smaller number of proof coins were minted specifically for collectors. Proof coins are made using specially prepared dies and are struck multiple times to create a sharp, detailed image with a mirror-like finish. These proof coins are highly polished and intended for collectors who value high-quality, non-circulating examples of U.S. coins. Despite the fact that millions of 1,981 dimes were struck, some special varieties and rare features of these coins make them more valuable than the average dime. Collectors often search for specific characteristics, such as minting errors, rare die varieties, or high-grade coins that show little to no wear. While most 1981 dimes are worth only their face value of 10 cents, certain examples have attracted attention due to their rarity, condition, and unique features. One important factor in determining the value of a 1981 dime is its condition. Coins that are in mint condition, meaning they have not been circulated and show little to no signs of wear, are more desirable to collectors. Coins that are graded as mint state (MS) by professional grading services are typically the most valuable. A coin's grade is determined by its overall appearance, including factors such as the quality of its strike, the amount of wear, and the presence of any marks or imperfections. It's worth noting that dimes, particularly from the Roosevelt series, are commonly collected in mint state, making it important to ensure that the coins you come across are in top condition. For a 1981 dime, this means that there should be no noticeable wear on Roosevelt's portrait, the torch, or the branches on the reverse. The more pristine the coin, the more valuable it will be to collectors, who are always on the lookout for high-quality examples. Another factor that can influence the value of a 1981 dime is the presence of any minting errors. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in a coin that is distinct from the others. These errors can range from minor mistakes, like a misaligned strike, to more dramatic issues, such as a double-struck coin or an off-center design. Minting errors are highly prized by collectors, as they are unique and often quite rare. A 1981 dime with a significant minting error could sell for much more than the standard dime, sometimes for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the rarity and severity of the error. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is the possibility of discovering a rare minting error that has been overlooked by others. While the 1981 dime is not known for having a large number of error varieties, there are occasional examples that stand out due to mistakes during the minting process. Coins with minting errors tend to be highly sought after by collectors, and if you find one, it could potentially be worth a lot more than its face value. So, what about the current value of the 1981 dime? The vast majority of 1981 dimes are worth just 10 cents, but certain coins have become much more valuable due to their rarity, condition, or minting errors. Some of these rare dimes have sold for thousands of dollars, while others have fetched even more impressive sums. In fact, a 1981 dime with the right characteristics, including mint state condition and any significant minting errors, can currently be worth as much as $118,000. Yes, that's right, $118,000 for a single dime. This price reflects the rarity and demand for high-quality, error-free examples of the 1981 dime. If you come across a 1981 dime, it's important to carefully examine it for any signs of wear, scratches, or imperfections. Pay close attention to the quality of the strike and check for any unusual characteristics, such as a misaligned or double-struck design. If your coin appears to be in mint state or has any noticeable errors, it may be worth sending it to a professional grading service for evaluation. A high-grade or error coin could potentially be worth far more than you expect. In addition to mint state coins and those with errors, there are also rare varieties that can increase the value of a 1981 dime. These variations can occur due to differences in the die used to strike the coins or subtle differences in the design. While these variations may be more difficult to spot, they can be highly valuable to collectors who specialize in these niche areas of numismatics. As with all forms of collecting, the key to building a valuable collection is to stay informed and vigilant. The coin market is constantly evolving, and what may seem like a small, insignificant coin today could very well become a prized treasure in the future. Whether you are an experienced collector or just starting out, the 1981 USA 1-dime coin is a perfect example of how a simple piece of currency can hold incredible value, both historically and financially. The 1984 USA 1-dime coin, while seemingly just another dime circulating in American pockets, holds much more significance than meets the eye. For those who look beyond its everyday use, this coin is a part of a broader narrative, one that encompasses not only the historical context of its creation but also the incredible design choices that bring it to life. Over time, the 1984 dime has become a symbol of its era, reflecting the cultural and political landscape of the 1980s, while also gaining a place of prominence in the world of coin collecting. By the end of this video, you will learn just how this unassuming piece of currency has become a highly coveted collector's item, with a value that could leave you astonished. $110,000. Before we dive into the specific details of the 1984 dime, it's essential to understand a bit about the history of the dime as a whole. The dime, a coin worth 10 cents, has been a part of the U.S. coinage system since 1796. It has undergone various design changes over the years, with the most notable redesign occurring in 1946. That was the year that President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had passed away the previous year, was commemorated on the dime. The Roosevelt dime has been in circulation ever since, and it was the design chosen for the 1984 coin. Roosevelt's likeness on the dime has become an iconic image in U.S. numismatics. The 1984 dime, like other coins in the Roosevelt series, features the familiar profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse. The design of this coin was created by John R. Sinek, an engraver at the U.S. Mint, and was first introduced in 1946, just after Roosevelt's death. Sinek's depiction of Roosevelt is a dignified and serious portrayal, capturing the essence of the man who led the United States through the Great Depression and much of World War II. The obverse features Roosevelt's left-facing portrait, surrounded by the inscription, "Liberty," at the top. The phrase, "In God We Trust," appears just beneath his chin, along with the year of minting, 1984, to the right. The artist's initials, JS, appear at Roosevelt's neck, indicating that this is Sinek's design. This simple yet powerful design has been the hallmark of the Roosevelt dime for decades. Turning to the reverse of the 1984 dime, we see the same design that has been used on the coin since 1946. The reverse features a torch, flanked by an olive branch on the left and an oak branch on the right. The torch symbolizes liberty, while the olive branch represents peace and the oak branch stands for strength. Together, these elements convey a message of unity, peace, and the resilience of the American spirit. Above the torch and branches, the words "United States of America" appear, and below, the phrase "E pluribus unum," meaning "out of many, one," is inscribed. At the bottom, we see 1 dime, clearly denoting the denomination of the coin. The overall design of the 1984 dime is timeless and elegant, capturing the values that Roosevelt himself embodied. These elements are carefully chosen to reflect the ideals of liberty, unity, and strength that continue to define the United States as a nation. While the design of the 1984 dime has remained largely unchanged from previous years, it still holds tremendous value in the context of American numismatics. Now, let's take a closer look at the technical details of the 1984 dime. The coin measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter and weighs 2.27 grams, making it one of the smaller coins in the U.S. Mint's regular issue lineup. The composition of the 1984 dime is made up of a copper-nickel-clad alloy, with 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. This gives the dime its familiar silvery appearance, which is both durable and visually distinct from other coins in circulation. In terms of minting, the 1984 dime was produced at 3 U.S. Mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Most of the coins were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints for general circulation, while a smaller number of proof coins were minted at the San Francisco Mint. These proof coins, made for collectors, are specially prepared and struck multiple times to achieve a smooth, shiny finish with sharp details. They are highly polished and are often considered more valuable than regular circulation dimes, particularly if they are in mint condition. The 1984 dime, like most dimes of the era, was widely distributed for everyday use. The total mintage of the coin reached several hundred million, meaning that the coin was abundant in circulation during that time. However, despite its widespread use, there are a number of factors that can influence the value of a 1984 dime today, particularly among collectors. While most 1984 dimes are worth only their face value of 10 cents, certain factors, including condition, rarity, and minting errors, can elevate the value of these coins significantly. One of the most crucial factors when determining the value of a 1984 dime is its condition. As with any coin, dimes that are in excellent, uncirculated condition are more desirable to collectors. Coins that are graded as mint state, MS, are typically the most valuable. A mint state coin shows no significant signs of wear, and the design details are crisp and clear. If a 1984 dime is free of scratches, tarnishing, or discoloration, it is considered to be in excellent condition and may be worth more than a typical circulated dime. Grading a coin is an important aspect of numismatics, and professional grading services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, assign grades to coins based on their condition. Coins with higher grades can fetch much more money than those that have been heavily circulated. A 1984 dime in mint state, MS, condition, particularly one with a grade of MS 65 or higher, could see its value rise far above its face value. Another factor that can make a 1984 dime valuable is the presence of minting errors. These errors happen during the minting process and result in coins that differ from the normal design. Errors can range from small imperfections, like doubled die marks or off-center strikes, to more substantial issues like coins that are struck multiple times or with incorrect designs. Collectors actively search for these minting errors because they are unique and rare, making them highly sought after. If you happen to find a 1984 dime with a noticeable minting error, it could be worth far more than its face value. While errors are relatively rare, they do occur from time to time, and coins with such imperfections can command higher prices at auctions and from collectors. It's essential to closely examine any dimes you come across for these potential errors, as they can increase the value of the coin significantly. It's also important to consider the rarity of the 1984 dime in certain conditions. While millions of these coins were produced, some varieties, particularly those with exceptional quality or minting errors, are much rarer than others. If you come across a particularly well-preserved 1984 dime or one with a rare error, it's worth having it professionally evaluated by a reputable coin grading service. A high-grade coin or one with a significant minting error could fetch a price much higher than its original value, but what about the current value of the 1984 dime? As of now, the vast majority of these dimes are worth only 10 cents. However, some rare examples have been known to sell for much more. In fact, a high-grade 1984 dime with perfect condition or a notable minting error has been known to reach up to $110,000. This substantial value reflects the rarity and desirability of these coins in excellent condition, as well as the growing interest in coins from the 1980s, which have become more collectible over time. In addition to the general collector market, some of these dimes have also drawn interest from investors. Numismatic investment has become increasingly popular as people look to diversify their portfolios and invest in tangible assets like rare coins. The 1984 dime, in particular, is attractive to investors because it represents both historical value and potential for appreciation, especially as the years pass and fewer of these coins remain in pristine condition. While it may seem incredible that a coin worth just 10 cents could be valued at $110,000, it highlights the fascinating world of coin collecting. What may appear as a simple piece of currency to the average person can hold immense value for collectors who appreciate the artistry, history, and rarity of coins like the 1984 dime. In many ways, Coin collecting is a passion that combines knowledge, history, and the thrill of discovery. So, if you're lucky enough to stumble upon a 1984 dime, take the time to inspect it carefully. If the coin is in pristine condition or exhibits any unique characteristics, you may have found a valuable piece of history. Coins like the 1984 dime remind us that even the smallest and most unassuming objects can carry immense worth, both financially and historically. And who knows? Your dime might just be worth far more than you ever imagined. The 1964 USA 1-cent coin, commonly referred to as the penny, might seem like just another small piece of currency from the mid-20th century. However, for collectors and numismatists alike, it's a coin that carries immense historical significance, remarkable design, and, perhaps most surprisingly, considerable value. In today's video, we'll take an in-depth look at the 1964 penny, exploring its historical context, iconic design, minting details, and how it has become a highly sought-after collector's item. And, as we move towards the end, you'll see just how much this humble coin is worth today, with a surprising value of up to $140,000. To fully appreciate the 1964 1-cent coin, it's important to understand a bit about its background. The penny, first introduced by the U.S. Mint in 1793, has undergone many design changes over the years. It has served as a symbol of American currency and, more importantly, a reflection of the political, social, and economic landscape of the United States at various points in history. The 1964 penny was part of the ongoing tradition of U.S. coinage, and its design carried deep connections to American ideals. Before delving into the specifics of the 1964 penny, we should first consider the political and cultural atmosphere of the time. The 1960s were a period of great change and turbulence in America. The country was in the midst of the Cold War, the civil rights movement was gaining momentum, and the U.S. was deeply engaged in the Vietnam War. 1964, the year the coin was minted, was especially significant because it was the year that Lyndon B. Johnson was elected president, following the assassination of John F. Kennedy in 1963. This year also marked the beginning of a major shift in the U.S. economy and social dynamics. In 1964, the 1-cent coin was still struck from the copper composition used for much of the penny's history. However, this would soon change. 1965 marked the beginning of a new era in U.S. coinage, as rising copper prices led to the decision to switch the composition of the penny and other coins. But in 1964, the penny was still a symbol of the old ways, representing a bygone era of minting traditions. The design of the 1964 penny was deeply rooted in tradition. The obverse of the coin, which features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, had been in use since 1909. Created by artist Victor David Brenner, Lincoln's image on the penny is one of the most iconic and widely recognized representations of any U.S. president. Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, is portrayed facing to the right, his face stern and resolute. The inscription, "Liberty," appears above his head, while the words, "In God We Trust," are inscribed just below the date, which in this case is 1964. Brenner's initials, VDB, are located just beneath Lincoln's shoulder, marking his artistic contribution to the coin's design. Lincoln's portrayal on the penny is a tribute to his leadership during one of the most challenging times in U.S. history, the Civil War. Since its introduction in 1909, the Lincoln penny has remained a powerful symbol of the nation's values and history. The simplicity and dignity of the design reflect both the importance of Lincoln's legacy and the enduring significance of the penny in American currency. Turning the coin over, the reverse of the 1964 penny features a design that has also become a hallmark of American coinage, the image of a wheat stalk. Known as the "wheat ears" design, this reverse has graced the penny from 1909 until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial. However, in 1964, the penny still featured this classic design. On the reverse side, you can see two sheaves of wheat that curve inward toward the center of the coin, surrounding the inscription E pluribus unum at the top and United States of America at the bottom. The phrase 1 cent is also clearly visible at the bottom, indicating the denomination of the coin. The wheat stalk design was originally created by engraver Frank Gasparo and has become a symbol of prosperity and the American farmer. It's simple but powerful, evoking a sense of the nation's agricultural roots and the importance of hard work and dedication. While this design would be replaced by the Lincoln Memorial in 1959, the 1964 penny still proudly carried the wheat stalks, representing a direct link to the past. In terms of technical details, the 1964 penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, making it a relatively heavy and sturdy coin. The diameter of the penny is 19 millimeters, and it weighs 3.11 grams. The copper content gives the coin its distinctive reddish-brown appearance, which has become a defining characteristic of the penny. Over the years, this color would fade due to oxidation, but in 1964, the penny retained its vibrant HUE.AS for the minting process. The 1964 penny was struck at 3 U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The majority of the 1964 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, with millions more struck in Denver. However, a small number of proof coins were minted at the San Francisco Mint, which were specially designed for collectors. These proof coins had a higher quality finish and were intended for numismatic purposes, rather than circulation. The proof coins are often the most highly sought-after examples, due to their pristine condition and careful preparation. The 1964 penny was widely distributed in the United States and remained in circulation for years to come. However, due to its copper composition, the coin began to see wear and tear, as pennies often do. The copper surface would tarnish and become discolored, making well-worn 1964 pennies less appealing to collectors. This wear and tear can significantly impact a coin's value, so the condition of the coin is an essential factor in determining its worth. So, what makes the 1964 penny so valuable today? For the most part, it's the rarity of high-quality examples, particularly those in mint or near-mint condition. As with all coins, the condition of the 1964 penny plays a significant role in its value. Coins that are free of scratches, discoloration, or damage are much more appealing to collectors and can fetch a premium price. Those that are in near-perfect condition, without significant signs of wear, are the ones that are most likely to command a higher value. In particular, the 1964 proof pennies, which were struck with a special process to create a high-gloss finish, are among the most valuable of all. These proof coins were produced in limited quantities and often show little to no signs of wear, making them highly desirable to collectors. A 1964 proof penny in perfect condition, graded as PR 70 by a professional grading service, could be worth far more than its face value, depending on demand. Additionally, there are some rarer variations of the 1964 penny that have attracted significant attention in the numismatic world. One of the most famous of these is the 1964 D penny, which features the mint mark of the Denver Mint. Although the 1964 D penny is generally quite common, some examples have been found with small minting errors that make them much more valuable. For instance, certain 1964 D pennies were struck with a die that caused the letters and numbers to appear doubled or offset. These double die errors are highly sought after by collectors, and examples of the 1964 D doubled die penny have been known to sell for thousands of dollars at auction. Even more rare are the 1964 pennies that were accidentally struck with the wrong die, resulting in a coin that doesn't look like any other penny. These errors, known as mule coins, are among the most valuable and collectible types of U.S. coins. If you happen to find a 1964 penny with a mule error, it could fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction, depending on the rarity and severity of the mistake, but the real shock comes with the highest-end examples. A 1964 penny in near-perfect condition, or one with a rare minting error, could easily fetch up to $140,000 at auction. While this may sound incredible, the value is driven by the rarity, historical significance, and collector demand for these particular coins. In the world of coin collecting, the 1964 penny is more than just a relic of the past, it's a coveted treasure, with the potential for significant financial gain. The 1964 penny serves as a reminder of the rich history behind American coinage and the way that small pieces of currency can hold great value over time. Whether you're an avid collector, a casual enthusiast, or simply someone who's curious about the world of numismatics, the 1964 penny is a coin that offers both a fascinating story and an impressive financial reward. From its timeless design to its potential to become a valuable asset, this seemingly ordinary coin holds extraordinary worth in the world of collecting. So, the next time you come across a 1964 penny, take a moment to inspect it closely. If it's in excellent condition or exhibits a rare minting error, you might just be holding onto a coin worth far more than its face value. The 1964 penny is a perfect example of how the past and present come together in the world of numismatics, offering both a glimpse into American history and a tangible connection to the future of coin collecting. With its rich legacy and potential for financial gain, the 1964 penny is undoubtedly a coin worth keeping an eye on. The 1987 USA 1-cent coin, commonly known as the penny, may seem like an unremarkable piece of currency in your everyday pocket change, but for those in the world of numismatics, this particular penny carries fascinating history, significant design, and potential for considerable value. In today's video, we're going to take a deep dive into the story of the 1987 penny, from its creation, through its design, to how it became a sought-after collectible. And of course, by the end of this video, you'll find out just how much this simple, small coin is worth today, surprising even the most seasoned collectors with a value of up to $115,000. Let's begin by understanding the broader historical context surrounding the 1987 penny. The year 1987 falls at an interesting time in the United States. By the mid-80s, America had just experienced a major economic shift. Ronald Reagan was serving his second term as president, and the country was navigating a booming stock market, increased consumer spending, and a growing sense of prosperity. It was a period of change, marked by the country's approach to global affairs, the evolving tech landscape, and shifting economic policies. But what does this all have to do with the 1987 penny? The penny itself is a long-standing symbol of American coinage. First introduced in 1793, it has undergone numerous redesigns over the centuries, yet it has always held a key role in the nation's economy. By the time we reach 1987, the design of the penny had evolved, yet it still featured Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, one of the most enduring symbols in American currency. But this year, like others before it, carried something special for those with an eye for detail, history, and the rare point. 1987 marked the last year of a series of pennies that were made primarily from copper, before changes in the coin's composition were made. Copper had become increasingly expensive, and by the time the 1980s rolled around, its rising costs prompted the U.S. Mint to consider an eventual transition to a less costly alternative material. However, the 1987 penny was still part of the old tradition, carrying that familiar copper-bronze shine, a feature that collectors would later find fascinating as the years passed. This composition, 95% copper and 5% zinc, gave the coin its distinct reddish-brown appearance, one that has become emblematic of the penny. The 1987 penny continued to feature the beloved portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's face on the penny is perhaps one of the most recognizable images in American numismatics. His serious expression and profile represent the gravity of his leadership during the Civil War and his efforts to preserve the Union. The design itself has remained relatively unchanged since 1909, when Brenner's portrait of Lincoln was first introduced as part of a coin series to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. On the reverse of the 1987 penny, you'll find the traditional wheat ears design, which had been used on pennies from 1909 to 1958. However, the 1987 penny, along with most other pennies minted after 1958, featured the Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse. The change in design came in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and this design remained in place for several decades. The image of the Lincoln Memorial is both an architectural and symbolic representation of Lincoln's legacy. The memorial, located on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., is a site of reverence, reflecting the monumental impact that Abraham Lincoln had on the nation. The penny's reverse design, showing the memorial, features a view of the steps and columns leading up to the statue of Lincoln seated within. The inscription, United States of America, appears at the top, with the words, E pluribus unum, appearing just above the memorial. And at the base of the coin, you see the words, 1 cent, marking the denomination of the coin. Now, let's talk about the minting process behind the 1987 penny, which plays a huge role in determining its rarity and value. The U.S. Mint produced the 1987 penny at 3 major locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The majority of the pennies minted in 1987 were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, while proof versions were produced at the San Francisco Mint. Proof pennies, which were struck with a special process to create a higher quality finish, were made specifically for collectors. These proof pennies are typically in much better condition and are much rarer than the pennies that circulated in everyday transactions. During 1987, the U.S. Mint produced over 8 billion pennies. However, as with all coins, not all were created equally. Many pennies were subjected to heavy circulation, spending years in people's pockets, through cash registers, or sitting in change jars. Over time, wear and tear can affect a coin's quality, making it less valuable. Pennies that were exposed to this constant movement and friction naturally show signs of scratches, dings, and discoloration. The pennies that survive in pristine condition, without such damage, are much more valuable to collectors. So, what is it that makes the 1987 penny such an appealing target for collectors today? The primary factor is the rarity of high-quality examples. While the vast majority of 1987 pennies were struck and spent in circulation, a small percentage were preserved in mint or near-mint condition. Those coins, especially those produced as proof coins or those with limited signs of wear, are now highly sought after in the numismatic market. One of the most important grading systems used in the coin collecting community is the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin is considered to be. A 1987 penny in mint state, meaning it shows little to no signs of wear, and its features are sharp and well-defined, could command a premium price. The coins that have been graded MS-67 or higher are especially coveted by collectors, as these represent the coins in the best condition. For the 1987 penny, the value largely depends on the specific details of the coin. A standard circulated 1987 penny, even in good condition, is worth only its face value of 1 cent. However, when the coin is in perfect condition, it can fetch much more. For example, a 1987 proof penny in perfect condition, graded PR 70, could be worth hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars. But the real surprise comes with the most pristine examples, those without any signs of wear or discoloration, often referred to as gem quality. What makes these high-grade 1987 pennies even more intriguing is the occasional discovery of mint errors. Mint errors are fascinating to collectors because they result from mistakes made during the minting process. In the case of the 1987 penny, errors such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, or incorrect planchets can significantly increase the value of a coin. These mistakes are rare and often make the coin a one-of-a-kind collector's item. For instance, a 1987 penny struck with a double die error, where the design was unintentionally imprinted twice, can fetch a high price at auction. These mint errors turn an otherwise regular penny into a rare and valuable specimen, but perhaps the most impressive thing about the 1987 penny is its enduring demand. Collectors continue to seek out high-quality examples, and the value of well-preserved pennies from 1987 has steadily increased. With the passage of time, coins like the 1987 penny that retain their quality are becoming rarer and more valuable. A 1987 penny that is in pristine condition or has an interesting minting error could be worth $115,000 or more. Yes, you heard that correctly. While it may seem incredible that a coin worth just 1 cent can now be valued at such a high price, the rare and collectible nature of the 1987 penny means it can command astounding amounts in the right conditions. If you happen to stumble upon a 1987 penny that is in excellent shape, or, even better, a coin with a minting error, it could very well be worth more than a house or a luxury car. This is a prime example of how rare coins, even those that were once in everyday circulation, can appreciate in value over time. In conclusion, the 1987 1-cent coin represents more than just a small piece of currency. It's a symbol of American history, a snapshot of a moment in time, and a testament to how even the most common coins can become valuable collectibles. From its historical context to its design, minting details, and collector appeal, the 1987 penny has become a prime example of how coins evolve in worth. While most of the pennies from 1987 will remain in circulation, the ones that are in top condition or carry a unique minting error are now sought after by collectors. And who knows, if you happen to come across one of these rare pennies, it could very well be worth up to $115,000. So, the next time you check your spare change, take a second to inspect your pennies. You never know, you could be holding on to a small treasure with a remarkable story and an astonishing value. The 1987 penny is a perfect example of how the world of numismatics holds countless hidden gems, waiting to be discovered. Keep an eye out for those rare, mint-condition pennies, and who knows, you might just stumble upon your own fortune. The 1983 USA 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel, might seem like a simple, everyday piece of currency, but to coin collectors, it's much more than just a 5-cent piece. Today, we're going to explore the fascinating story behind the 1983 nickel, delving into its historical context, design, minting details, and why this particular coin is so highly sought after by collectors. By the end of this video, you'll be astonished at the value of the 1983 nickel, which can fetch as much as $123,000. Yes, you heard that right. To truly appreciate the 1983 nickel, we need to first understand the historical context in which it was minted. The early 1980s were a time of transition for the United States. In 1983, the country was in the midst of an economic recovery after the early part of the decade was marked by a severe recession. Ronald Reagan had been president for 2 years, and his administration was focused on cutting taxes, deregulation, and boosting military spending. The early 80s also saw the rise of personal computers, a burgeoning tech industry, and new shifts in the global economy. This period in American history also saw a significant change in how coins were produced. By the early 1980s, the rising cost of materials, particularly copper and nickel, was beginning to affect the U.S. Mint. These costs would soon lead to changes in the composition of various coins, and the 1983 nickel was one of the last coins to be produced with its original design and composition. For those in the numismatic world, this made the 1983 nickel particularly interesting. Now, let's talk about the design of the 1983 nickel. The design of the nickel has remained largely unchanged since it was first introduced in 1938. The obverse of the coin features a profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, designed by artist Felix Schlag. Jefferson, a founding father and the author of the Declaration of Independence, is one of the most significant figures in American history. His image on the nickel has remained a symbol of American democracy and liberty for decades. The reverse of the coin features a depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, also designed by Schlag. Monticello is a stunning example of Jefferson's architectural vision and serves as a fitting tribute to the man who shaped so much of the nation's early history. The 1983 nickel, like all nickels minted since 1866, was composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This alloy was selected for its durability and resistance to corrosion. However, by 1982, the rising price of copper made it much more expensive for the U.S. Mint to continue producing coins with high copper content. This economic pressure was felt across the coin industry, and by the end of the decade, the Mint would begin experimenting with different metal compositions for various denominations, including the nickel. But in 1983, the classic copper-nickel alloy was still in use. The minting process of the 1983 nickel, like all coins produced by the U.S. Mint, was highly regulated and precise. The coins were struck at two major locations, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. While the majority of the 1983 nickels were produced at the Denver Mint, some coins were also produced at the Philadelphia Mint, and these are often considered rarer and more desirable by collectors. The coins produced at these mints were then shipped to banks and eventually circulated across the country, serving as a small but essential part of the U.S. economy. However, the story of the 1983 nickel isn't just about its design or minting process, it's also about what makes this coin so valuable today. When most people think of the 1983 nickel, they likely think of the coins that passed through their hands during their daily transactions. But some of those coins were, and continue to be, in exceptional condition, making them highly collectible. Coins that were produced in large quantities, like the 1983 nickel, may not seem rare at first glance, but coins that were preserved in uncirculated or near-mint condition are much harder to find. In the world of numismatics, a coin's condition is incredibly important. Coins that are in pristine condition, free from scratches, discoloration, or wear, are highly prized by collectors. For the 1983 nickel, this means coins that were well preserved, either by being kept in storage or by remaining untouched in a bank vault for decades, are much more valuable than those that circulated widely. A key factor in the value of the 1983 nickel is its grading. Coins are graded based on their condition, and the highest grades, such as MS-67 or MS-68, indicate coins that are nearly perfect, with minimal flaws. A 1983 nickel in such condition could fetch a premium price, especially if it is a rare find. Coin grading is a detailed process that requires expertise, and the difference in value between a coin graded MS-63 and one graded MS-67 can be astronomical. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Another factor that adds to the allure of the 1983 nickel is the potential for mint errors. Mint errors occur when something goes wrong during the coin production process, resulting in a coin that deviates from the intended design. For example, a 1983 nickel with a double die error, where the design was struck twice, can be worth much more than a regular 1983 nickel. Similarly, off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, or coins with unusual features, can be highly sought after by collectors who specialize in error coins. These mint errors are rare, and finding a 1983 nickel with one of these errors can lead to a substantial increase in its value. The appeal of the 1983 nickel also extends beyond collectors to investors. While most people think of rare coins as a hobby or passion, some see them as a smart financial investment. Coins, especially rare ones in excellent condition or with minting errors, can appreciate in value over time. A coin that may have been worth only a few cents when it was first minted can, decades later, be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. For example, a 1983 nickel in near-mint condition can be worth anywhere from $100 to several $1,000s, depending on its grade and rarity. But certain rare specimens, such as those with a mint error or produced in limited quantities, can fetch even higher prices at auction. Now, let's talk about the most exciting part of this journey, the value of the 1983 nickel today. You might be wondering, how could a simple 5-cent coin ever be worth as much as $123,000? Well, it all comes down to rarity, condition, and the discovery of special mint errors. In 1983, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters, and most of these coins were heavily circulated. But every now and then, a nickel was struck with unusual characteristics that made it stand out from the rest. The value of the 1983 nickel can vary widely based on its condition and whether it contains a minting error. A 1983 nickel in perfect, uncirculated condition, graded MS 67 or higher, can be worth thousands of dollars. Meanwhile, the rarer, high-grade coins with notable minting errors can push the value even further. In fact, some specimens of the 1983 nickel have been sold at auction for more than $100,000, with the most pristine examples reaching an incredible $123,000. The 1983 nickel is a prime example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can become a prized collector's item over time. Whether it's the historical significance of the coin, its timeless design, the lasting appeal of the Thomas Jefferson and Monticello imagery, or its potential for rare minting errors, the 1983 nickel has earned its place in the numismatic world as a valuable and sought-after piece of American history. It's a coin that demonstrates how even the smallest pieces of currency can hold great significance and worth. So, the next time you come across a 1983 nickel, don't just toss it aside without a second thought. Take a moment to examine it closely. If it's in great condition, or if you happen to discover a minting error, you could be holding on to a small treasure worth far more than its face value. As the 1983 nickel proves, sometimes the most unassuming coins have the potential to become a collector's dream, and in the case of the 1983 nickel, that dream can be worth up to $123,000. In conclusion, the 1983 USA 5-cent coin may have started out as just a simple piece of currency, but its journey through history, combined with its design and potential for rare minting errors, has turned it into one of the most coveted coins among collectors and investors alike. With its connection to American history, its striking design featuring Thomas Jefferson and Monticello, and the ongoing appeal of its rare and pristine examples, the 1983 nickel is a true gem in the world of numismatics. So keep your eyes peeled for that 1983 nickel in your pocket change. Who knows, it could be the key to unlocking a small fortune. The 1996 USA 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel, is a fascinating piece of American numismatic history. While it may seem like just another coin that you've come across in your pocket change, this seemingly unremarkable 5-cent piece has a remarkable story behind it. If you're a coin enthusiast or collector, you might already know that certain coins, particularly those in exceptional condition or with unique features, can be worth a great deal more than their face value. The 1996 nickel is one of those coins that has a hidden potential to fetch a hefty sum on the collector's market, with some rare examples reaching a value of $112,000. So, how did this particular coin come to be so valuable? What makes the 1996 nickel stand out from the rest? Let's dive deep into its history, design, minting process, and the reasons behind its high value in the world of numismatics. By the end of this video, you'll be amazed by how a small piece of currency can transform into a treasured artifact, carrying significant worth and historical importance. The 1996 nickel, like all nickels minted in the United States, carries with it an enduring legacy. To truly understand the significance of the 1996 nickel, we must first look at the broader context of the time in which it was produced. The United States in the mid-1990s was experiencing a period of prosperity. The economy was booming, the stock market was flourishing, and the country had just come through a period of economic turbulence in the 1980s and early 1990s. Bill Clinton was in his first term as president, and the nation was transitioning into the digital age. But, interestingly, it was also a time when the United States Mint was grappling with challenges related to the rising cost of production for coins. By the mid-1990s, the Mint had already started considering alternative metals to reduce costs, but the familiar composition of the 5-cent coin, 75% copper and 25% nickel, was still in use for the 1996 nickel. Little did anyone know, the 1996 nickel would become an important coin for collectors, with some of its rare versions fetching impressive amounts. The design of the 1996 nickel is immediately recognizable to anyone familiar with U.S. coins. The obverse, front, of the coin features the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Jefferson, one of the founding fathers, is depicted in a classic portrait created by artist Felix Schlag. This image of Jefferson, which has been used on the nickel since 1938, has become a symbol of American ideals such as liberty, independence, and democracy. The reverse, back, of the 1996 nickel depicts Monticello, the neoclassical Virginia estate designed by Thomas Jefferson. Monticello, which was Jefferson's home for much of his life, is one of the most recognizable buildings in America and represents Jefferson's architectural genius. The design on the reverse of the nickel has remained largely unchanged since it was first introduced in 1938, giving the coin a timeless quality that has made it beloved by collectors for generations. But beyond the design, there's another fascinating aspect to consider when it comes to the 1996 nickel: the minting process. The U.S. Mint struck billions of these coins in 1996, with the majority being produced at the mint facilities in Philadelphia and Denver. While these coins were made for general circulation, some of the nickels produced in 1996 were set aside for collectors, and it's these special coins that can fetch an enormous price today. The coins produced in regular circulation, though not as rare, also have their own appeal, especially when they're in excellent condition. One of the most intriguing factors when it comes to the 1996 nickel's value is the concept of coin grading. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher grades indicating better condition. A coin graded MS 63, mint state 63, might be worth only a few dollars, while a coin graded MS 67 or higher could be worth much more. The 1996 nickel, like many coins, has been subject to intense scrutiny by professional graders, and coins in near-perfect condition are highly prized by collectors. Coins that are in uncirculated or near-mint condition, meaning they show little to no signs of wear, can be worth much more than their face value. Now, let's talk about something that really sets the 1996 nickel apart from other coins: mint errors. A mint error occurs when something goes wrong during the coin's production process, leading to an anomaly on the coin. Mint errors are highly prized by collectors, as they are rare and often unique. For the 1996 nickel, certain mint errors have made it particularly valuable. For example, a 1996 nickel with a double die error, where the design is struck more than once, can command a much higher price. Other potential errors that could occur during the minting process include off-center strikes, which result in a misaligned design, or coins with missing details due to issues with the dies. These types of mint errors can significantly increase the value of a coin, and some 1,996 nickels with errors have been sold at auction for impressive sums. The value of the 1996 nickel also depends on the rarity of the coin. Coins that are rarer are, of course, more valuable. While billions of 1996 nickels were struck, only a small number of coins exist in mint condition or with rare mint errors. Collectors are always on the lookout for the rarest examples, and these coins can be sold for thousands of dollars, especially if they've been graded by a reputable third-party grading service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. One of the key reasons the 1996 nickel is so desirable to collectors is the scarcity of high-quality specimens. Coins that were in circulation for years may have been subject to wear and tear, losing their luster and becoming more difficult to find in pristine condition. This scarcity makes the uncirculated or near-mint examples all the more valuable. In fact, some of the highest-graded 1996 nickels have been known to fetch upwards of $10,000 at auction, and certain mint-error versions can exceed that price by a significant margin. But now, let's get to the big reveal: the current value of the 1996 nickel. As of today, a 1996 nickel in uncirculated, near-mint condition can easily fetch hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars, depending on its grade. However, if you're lucky enough to have a 1996 nickel with a rare mint error or in the highest possible grade, the value can skyrocket to incredible amounts. Coins with special minting errors, such as the double die or off-center strike, have been known to sell for as much as $112,000 at auction. That's right, a single 1996 nickel could be worth up to $112,000 if it's in exceptional condition or contains a rare mint error. In conclusion, the 1996 USA 5-cent coin may seem like a humble, everyday coin at first glance, but it holds an incredible amount of value for collectors. Whether it's the iconic design featuring Thomas Jefferson and Monticello, the scarcity of high-grade specimens, or the potential for rare mint errors, the 1996 nickel has captured the attention of coin collectors around the world. So, the next time you come across a 1996 nickel, take a moment to inspect it carefully. If you're lucky enough to find a pristine example or one with a rare minting error, you could be holding onto a coin that's worth much more than its face value. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone curious about the fascinating world of coin collecting, the 1996 nickel is a coin that deserves your attention. With its rich history, classic design, and potential for substantial value, it's no wonder that the 1996 nickel has become one of the most sought-after coins in the world of American numismatics. So, keep an eye out for those nickels. They might just turn out to be worth more than you ever imagined.